Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. Today we are going over the TikTok Supreme Court case. This is part two. They have put out responses to their initial opening briefs. We are going to see what they're saying. We're just going to quickly scan through it. I don't want this video to be a long one like the last one, but I will link it in the description. So if you do want to read it yourself, absolutely feel free to go check it out. But we're going to get into this. I'm not going to waste any more time. Question presented: whether the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act, as applied to petitioners, violates the First Amendment. So we're going to do the same thing as last time. We're going to see their arguments. We're going to see what the response was to each one. Here we go. Summary of argument right here. One after another, members of Congress rose to the House floor to support the bill. It is really incredible, one member said, that we should allow an avowed and powerful enemy to be pouring poisonous propaganda. As far as I know, this is not anything that can be proven. I think in the last video, the long format video, not the patch notes, the long format video, I actually searched a few of the topics on TikTok that they were saying were problematic and would cause issues, and none of those even came up back into my For You feed, which is where they should go once you interact and you start scrolling through the videos. So clearly this is not even true. Unsolicited propaganda attacking the United States as imperialist, warmongering, and colonialist. I mean, are they wrong? Because like, one, I don't remember this being the case at all. But if you're talking about the overall public sentiment of the actions that the United States government has been taking with our dollars, yes, you could say that this is the overall feeling of the public sentiment on the government currently. We don't trust you. We don't like you. And this is the whole point. Because this is the type of shit that we have allowed to go on for way too long. A free society has to leave itself totally exposed to an unending brainwash of foreign communist party, mostly concealed in its origins, subtle, purposeful, directed primarily at young Americans, at college students. We're gonna act like our government's not doing the same thing? Huh? Oh, I want to know. I genuinely want to know. We're gonna talk about that, or we're just gonna sweep this under the bus, huh? We're gonna talk about that, huh? We're gonna talk about the fucking all the different shit that's been fucking forced on us over these past few years, huh? We're gonna talk about that. What about this one? We're gonna talk about this one. We're gonna talk about that one too. What else? What else do we want to talk about? Huh? What else? I genuinely want to know. What else do we want to talk about? Black Lives Matter, COVID-19, LGBTQ. These are all things that were shoved down our throats for years. And finally, we had enough, so we booted your asses from office and we decided to put people in there that aligned with the ideals of the American people. And y'all might not, Y'all might not like it, but I didn't vote. But a lot of people did. A lot of people did. But they voted this way for a reason. Because they were sick of all the shit that we were getting pushed from all of this. Okay? We were tired of it. We let it slide. And now we're at the point where we can't. We're on the verge of losing everything. So I'm not worried about communist propaganda because the communist propaganda is coming from my own fucking country. Okay? Straight up. Okay, what else? Propaganda and an issue addressed to our youth, the teachers in universities, because this is a favorite trick of the communists to get at the minds of our young people. I don't know where they're getting this from. I don't know where they can even try to prove this from. But the overall sentiment for young people was siding with the propaganda that they were being pushed on by the United States. Young people were all blue. It wasn't until Trump started fucking interacting with the youth when they started gravitating towards going to the right. But for the most part, they were 100% on board with anything the government wanted to do. Jesus Christ. One of the most serious problems we have to stop is communist propaganda coming into this country. It is the technique of the communists to work. Again, cite your source. What are you trying to prove? Because I already disproved the fact that you can't get Hamas stuff, you can't get Palestine stuff, you can't get China stuff, Taiwan stuff, you can't get any Ukraine, Russia, none of that shit shows up on my For You page. None of it. And I went and searched a ton of it. I watched a bunch of videos, I clicked through a bunch of videos, I scrolled through a bunch of videos showing the algorithm that I am interested in this topic, but yet I was still not fed these on my For You page where it should have been. So there's nothing there. And again, I talked in the last video about how the For You page works. The For You page works by you feeding it information. It takes that information, filters out things that you don't want to see, and adds more things that you do want to see. So the fact that I went for days interacting on the For You page, looking up Palestine over and over, looking up Ukraine, looking up Russia, looking up China, looking up Taiwan, I should have been fed that shit. But I'll prove it right now. I'll prove it right now. Look at that. Anime. Some fucking dance thing. Vikings. W Heritage, by the way. Some sort of meme shit. More anime, more anime, more anime. Hey, W is in the Zone Zero. I need to play some more of that. Some blue collar worker stuff. Guy saving a horse. Anime. Some sort of video game. Yeah, police chase. The video game again. Whatever this is. So, yeah, nowhere on here is anything that I have been searching for the past week. So, I don't know where the communist propaganda is coming from. Completely false. False accusations. And it was the same way in the last their opening statement. Nothing they said had any sort of merit to it whatsoever. Again, the dangerous propaganda shit. I mean, how many times are we going to talk in circles? Greatest concern is the propaganda threat. I just disproved the fact that it is even a threat. And the easiest way to tell, right, is if you're on TikTok and stuff on your feed no longer matches what you have been interacting and feeding into the algorithm, then it clearly shows that it is fucking. It clearly shows that they're messing with the algorithm. So it's something that TikTok cannot actually do. If they actually did it, it would be so blatantly obvious that it could get instantly reported. What are we talking about? We would not allow any. Wait, what? In 1961, we would not allow any other country to be shipping in dangerous drugs or disease. Wow. So, in 1961, we would not allow any other country. Wow. Yeah, I would say that that's not the case anymore. Um, they're worried about TikTok, but you're letting it happen. So that's clearly not a concern. Digital fentanyl, for fuck's sake. You can't even get anything on your For You page from them. And maybe I'm wrong, and maybe there's some massive delay on the For You page or something. But I have been looking this stuff up for weeks, expecting it to hit my For You page, and it has not yet. An unconstitutional abridgment of the address's First Amendment rights. So this is exactly what I touched on before. And do not ever let the government tell you otherwise. But your content on the platform of TikTok is 100% protected by the First Amendment. Do not let them try to tell you otherwise, okay? It is still free speech. It doesn't matter who owns the app. It doesn't matter who fucking founded it. It doesn't matter who fucking has a high shareholder. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Okay? It is an American company. When you operate in America, you follow American law. In American law states in the First Amendment you have freedom of motherfucking speech. Okay? And freedom of expression. Okay? There is nothing, absolutely nothing, that TikTok can do to protect itself as a company, but it absolutely can protect you and your freedom of speech and expression on their app, on their platform. So, we're completely clear on that. Okay? Let's keep moving. The government cannot be allowed to systematically indoctrinate. The court should reach the same result here. The government does not have any interest in suppressing speech it views as propaganda. There has been no speech on TikTok that has been propagandist at all, except for shit. Because I do remember that there was some propaganda that was back and forth between Russia and Ukraine at one point. However, I will not say that it was for either party. I would actually say it was almost more so, actually, I would even argue it's 70-30 in Ukraine's favor. In a democracy, government cannot be allowed to systematically indoctrinate its citizenry or instill in citizens a particular ideology bias, because to do so would essentially allow the government to undermine popular control by manufacturing its own consent. What did I say before? LGBTQ, COVID-19, Black Lives Matter. This was all pushed propaganda on us, the American people. Okay? And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with any of this, but I am calling out the fact that it was absolutely shoved down everybody's throat. And that cannot be denied. That is a propaganda that our government, our US government, shoved down our throats. Okay? That was the whole reason Twitter was brought into court. Okay? That's the whole reason. And they only did that because they had to make an example out of them, because they got caught. So they're still doing it. I guarantee they're still doing it. You just got to wake up. As Justice Robert Jackson eloquently put it, if there is any fixed star in our constitutional constellation, it is that no official, high or petty, can prescribe what shall be orthodox in politics, nationalism, religion, or other matters of opinion. So I'm gonna reread this one more time just to make sure I get it right. Okay. Okay. Really don't have an opinion on any of that. We're just gonna keep it moving. ByteDance and TikTok entities would try to comply if the Chinese government asked for specific actions to be taken. This is what I was talking about before. Even if they wanted to comply, it would be so blatantly obvious that you are being force-fed shit on the app. You could immediately note it down, take it to court, and ban it. Bang, just like that. Okay? It's literally not a threat. It's not a threat at all. That's the whole reason the fucking NSA fucking exists, is to protect your personal data, which they've done a shit job at anyway, because all of our information got leaked not all that long ago. 2.9 billion files of it. So, yeah, clearly this is not a problem. The government would not need to wait for the risk to materialize before acting. That may be true. That may be true under arbitrary commission's review, but much more is required to show compelling governmental interest under the First Amendment, strict scrutiny. So, this literally, I'm going to be talking in fucking circles here. This goes back to what I was saying. All of the things that you say and do on the TikTok app is protected under the First Amendment. All right, freedom of speech and freedom of expression. All of it is protected on the app as a platform. However, the app itself is not protected under that First Amendment. Okay? The app itself, the government, if it so chooses, can snap it out of existence if there is a compelling argument, which is what they're trying to do, essentially. They're trying to give an argument that would say the risk is worth more than the benefit, right? So, my argument is this. If you cannot apply this in any sort of judicial fucking court at all. You cannot. Because that would be like somebody off the street goes to a judge and says, I need you to throw Bearded Bear 9000 in jail. And the judge asks why. And his evidence is that I might kill him 5 years down the road. that is not reasonable evidence or probable cause to enact justice upon something, right? That's the whole reason the justice system exists. Now, I'm not saying you can't deal with threats before they begin, but they have to be a reasonable threat. Having high stake into a company is not a reasonable threat. Okay? It's what the fuck are we talking about? Like what world is it a reasonable threat that a company makes a little bit of money? Like, sure, they can have our fucking information. India's got my fucking information. Them motherfuckers call me all the time with the stupid scam calls. Okay, so do you think that they don't have my information? Fuck yeah, they got my information. I just speak a different language though, and then they don't know what to do and they hang up. So, and then the calls have stopped since then. But like, they were calling me for a little bit there, so they got my information. Google leaks my shit all the time. I guarantee it. I guarantee Google leaks information, Apple leaks information, Samsung leaks information. They all leak information. You're not convincing me. What are we talking about? We just had that. You know, I'm going to bring it up just for evidence sake. 2.9 billion data breach. This is a data breach that just happened in national public data. Or not just happened, but it happened a little while ago. Full names, addresses, social security numbers, and details about relatives. Yeah. And this is the NSA's job, by the way. They're supposed to stop this stuff from happening. And they're worried about a company that is completely hands-off of TikTok as an American company. Wow. Propaganda is protected by the First Amendment. True. If they want to push propaganda, they absolutely can. And it is your right under the First Amendment to oppose said propaganda. Easy to figure out. Easy to take in. Okay, let's get to the other bullet point. Where's it at? Jesus Christ, how long are they going to go? There we go. Misinformation and disinformation are protected by the First Amendment. Ooh. Unfortunately, it is. Thinking about it, unfortunately, it is. But this is something that no matter what you attempted to do, there's no way to perfectly get rid of mis and disinformation. It's just not possible. Now, in the hindsight of somebody committing misinformation or disinformation, you absolutely should be able to follow up. And we have seen this with all mainstream media, is pretty much all of them have been sued more than once for mis and disinformation. Okay. And some of them have not. Joe Rogan did sue fucking, what was it, CNN or MSNBC? One of them that fucking faked his video. He should have. He should have absolutely sued the fuck out of him. Yeah, it should absolutely be, like, heavily punished, though, is my response to that. It may be protected, but there should be some ramifications if you're found guilty in hindsight. The DC Circuit did not engage with the law's true censorial justification, and it did not apply truly strict scrutiny. Undermine trust in our democracy. Okay. Promoting disinformation. Again, I still have yet to see this. What was this about social division? undermine trust in our democracy. Wait, what? The court did not engage with the government's own admission in its briefing that the law was aimed at suppressing speech that could undermine trust in our democracy and exacerbate social divisions. Well, mainstream media has been doing this for a long time. I bet you I could look it up right now. CNN. Let's see what CNN's doing. Breaking news. Let's check it out. Dead people. Oh, here we go. Trump hasn't taken office yet, but he's already upended DOJ's efforts to arrest and prosecute January 6 rioters, already pushing division. What else do we got? More stuff about Trump. Russia vows retaliation after saying it downed 8 U.S.-made long-range missiles. So, I mean, that's going to cause division. Shadowing, he explains he got to know why the... Okay. Assad is gone, but the Syrian hazmat team... It's actually somewhat tame. Samantha Bee done with being a Democrat. So they're not pushing it as bad as they normally do, but it definitely was the case when we were still trying to figure out who the next president was going to be. Specifically, the panel reason to the end, Chinese government's ability to control TikTok. Again, this is basically mute. Anything the Chinese government would do to TikTok that would infringe on what we see as Americans on a day-to-day basis would be easily clocked, easily reported, easily banned. No problem. And even if they took our data, they already have it anyway, so what does it fucking matter? Understood in that way, the act actually vindicates the values that... Okay. Alright, let's keep going. Let's find the next one. Oh, we're at conclusion. Okay. So, not a lot said. But yeah, mostly the data privacy thing was the biggest argument. But like I said, anything you say or do on TikTok is protected by your freedom of speech and your freedom of expression. The app itself is not, however. So, obviously, the Supreme Court, as long as they're not stupid, then they should be able to see right through the fucking Attorney General's arguments and dismiss them, as there is no merit that these are based on. So, until TikTok is actually fucking guilty of something, there is no reason that action should be taken against it. And we should be seeing TikTok again this time next year. So, other than that, that's it for me, boys. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like it, okay? Most importantly, subscribe to yourself. We really nailed this on the head. Only half-hour long video this time. So, I will keep updating you as stuff comes out. There is the... there's proper hearing next week on the 10th, or I guess 5 days from now. So stay tuned for that. I don't think that they'll live stream it because the public opinion is not in their favor, so they probably won't live stream it. So Until then, I will find the patch notes for that and I will update you then. But for now, hey, much love, peace, catch y'all later.